Good morning. Welcome back to the homestead. We're back in the kitchen, place I live at. It's snowing today. Kids are happy. Pretty cold. I went out there and dug around in the freezer to find something to do for the Three Rivers Challenge. It is so cold. I'm ready for spring. Are you ready for spring? And this is our first hit of winter weather in Missouri, and I'm ready for spring. Anyhow, I don't know if this really qualifies for the Three Rivers Challenge because I'm not making a meal. I went and I dug around and I knew I had some beef bones in the deep freeze and I really needed to get them out. I've probably had them since, I don't know, like May. They've been in there a while. It's time to get them out. So how about we make some bone broth? Then I got to digging and I found some smoked turkey bones that I had saved. Why not throw them in? Give a little smoky flavor. It's not going to take away from the beef. And then I found some veggies. Found a few things to add to it. Now, you can put anything into a broth that you want. Anything. You really can't go wrong with it. It's super easy and it just takes a lot of time. Throw it in your roaster. Totally ignore it for a couple days if you want. Good to go. I'm on day 4 of my healthy eating keto journey, and I got to thinking, you know, when it comes time to have something nice and warm to drink, it'd be nice to have some good bone broth. So that's what I'm doing. I don't have fresh onions. How I didn't know I didn't have fresh onions, I don't know, because I always have them, but I'm actually out today, so I'm going to improvise. Like I said, you can't do anything wrong when it comes to broth, not much. I have some caramelized onions that I canned, so I'm going to use a jar of these. And then I just have some good old-fashioned cheap onion powder. And I'm probably going to dump this whole thing in there because I want onion flavor. I have black peppercorns. That way when I strain it out, there's not a lot in there. And then I have 5 cloves of Mama's homegrown garlic. I'm going to cut the bottoms off where they've not, you know, got a little dirt in there. But I'm leaving the skins and everything. So I'm just going to cut this off, cut it in half, throw it in. Okay? I also have, I found a bag of zucchini. Why not throw it in there? It's not going to hurt nothing. And some carrots. These need to be used up. They're actually trying to take root in the bag. So it's time to use these up. And then I have a random bag. Back in some of my canning videos, I told you guys about saving your scraps while you cook so that you can use it for bone broth or soups or whatever you want. And I actually have a bag of scraps here. There's onion skins, garlic skins, peppers, might be some tomatoes in here, but I mean, it's not going to hurt the broth. And all kinds of seeds here in the bottom. I'm not even sure what all's in here, but I can definitely see garlic and onion skins. So this should be pretty good. It's going to be beefy. Yeah. So, I guess we need to get started. Number 1, with your beef bones, you can do it 2 different ways. Today I'm going to do it the dump and go way in my big roaster. But a lot of people will take their bones and they will roast them in the oven first. And they do that to draw out as much flavor and collagen and all that. And they just feel like it's better. And it probably is. But you don't have to do it. It's totally fine to throw your bones in the way they are because they're going to cook low and slow in here. This isn't going to be a one-day deal. I'm going to let it go till it gets as dark and as possible, and I will taste it from time to time and just see how it goes. So I have no idea how long this takes. Today is January 6th. This is when I'm beginning it, and then we'll see what day it is I finish up, how long it takes us to do that. Alrighty, so let us get started. Now these beef bones came from a local butcher. And they normally just use them for dog treats or they just dispose of them. They're not used to people getting them. But if you go to your butcher and ask, they will be more than happy to provide you with these because for the most part, it's just a waste product. Most people aren't asking for the bones. Let's see if I can get one. Can you see it? I've got the marrow and then you have the bone. And there's going to be a little bit of meat on there. That is just fine. But I've got a bag. I'm not exactly sure how many pounds I have. I just asked them for some, and they helped me out, and I don't even have the receipt on what I paid for them. It's just been too long. But you can go to your local butcher, and they will hook you right up with that. And thankfully, I live in an area where we have several. So There is a little bit of ice on them. They have been in here since May. So they're not freezer burnt, but they're good and froze. And like I said, I am not going to roast them first. Okay, I'm going to pull you in a little closer. Now you should be able to see. Look, did a pretty good job of filling it up. There'll be plenty of room for everything else. Alright, I have a pair of scissors in case I need it, in case something's stuck in the bag. Just dumping this in whole. Flavor, nutrition, and good stuff. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Okay, let's do our poultry smoked turkey bones. I don't even know how old these are because the last 3 turkeys that we have consumed as a family have been smoked. So there's some ice in there. I'll pull that one yucky bone out. Okay. It's going to be full right off the bat, but it'll break down. Sometimes I wish I had 2 roaster pans. I really should have 2 roaster pans, especially in the summer. When you're canning, it'd be a big help. Holy moly, I think that's a whole bird. That's a smoked chicken. Well, I didn't know that was in there. Look! This might be interesting. I might have to put this in a crock pot and get the broth off of it. I didn't realize that's what that was. And I don't think it's gonna fit. So let's get a crock pot. Alrighty. Chicken and a half. I don't even remember putting this up, so I don't know what dinner this was from, but it's in the crock pot now. And we'll just have a regular chicken broth, and then we'll do our beef broth too. And now I'm kind of tempted to move some of this over. I mean, it's pretty full. That should be enough. That'll be good to sip on. Alrighty, let's do the zucchini, shall we? All this is shredded zucchini. It's got a little bit of ice on it. If I can get it out of here. May as well use it up. It was lost down in the bottom of the freezer. That's the thing about deep freezes. You just never know what you're going to find. Oh, guess what else I found? I found bacon. And not a little bit of bacon. I found a bunch of bagged bacon that I didn't even know we had. So, look. So, yeah, holy moly on that deal, right? Can you see okay? I always worry about that. Now, I'm just going to, as soon as I find my knife, which is probably hidden, so I'll just get a new knife. I don't want that knife. Or that knife. Okay, we'll use this knife. I'm just going to cut the stuff on the ends. I normally wouldn't bother. They've been in there a while and they're trying to grow, so I don't really want that part. But normally it's no big deal. I'm just chunking it up. Nope, I forgot to cut that one. I'm going as fast as I can. That one had a little yucky spot. We had to get rid of that. Try not to stick my whole body in here in front of the camera. But do you like my new apron? It's a little big on me, but that's my fault. Isn't that pretty? I don't get new aprons very often, and I sure wear the heck out on my other ones. And then you don't want to wear your new one because you don't want to take away the pretty and stain it up and rip it up like I do. So that's why you always see me in my old ratty ones most of the time. Okay. This is going to be awesome sauce. Alrighty. Let's open the onions. Got my fancy jar key for that. Holy moly. Make sure I'm not snagging my glass. There we go. That's how you know it's sealed good. There, finally. Just a little teeny tiny spot. Smells like onions. All that is onions and butter cooked slowly in a crock pot. That's all it is. And then you pressure can it. And I can't remember the exact time. I'd have to look it up because I've only done it just once. I don't even really think it needs butter next time. I think I'm just going to throw them in there just like they are. But I'm glad to have them, especially for today. Alright. Saving my lids, yes I am. Onion powder. Just pop her off and go with it. I'm going to go ahead and add some to this chicken over here, since I put all the onions in with the beef. And this needs to be used up anyway. Don't see a date. Oh yeah, Best Buy 2019. Think we need to use that up? Now these are new. I've only used them one time, so. Pepper. As you can see, there is no exact measurements. I am just going with it. Because my broth is different every time I make it. There is no set recipe. Somebody might have a set recipe, but I don't. Gotta have your salt. If you don't want to use salt, don't use it. But broth is not the same without salt. It's very bland. Anything else back here? No, so we're going to move this back a little bit. Oh, Biddy. Miss Biddy's growling at a cat for fear the cat might come near. Let's see if I can get a knife through this. My goodness. Come on. I didn't want to have to take them all apart. They're pretty dry. There we are. I've got one bad one. Yeah, they're pretty dry. So we're going to throw them in. Lock, stock, and barrel, man. Now you're going to ask, why didn't I just throw the skins of these in when I saved the skins off the others? Well, the others were washed, and these are not. And I don't want to mess with having to wash them. There's going to be plenty in here, so it's okay. If I really, really needed it. Ooh, you're dried out. Ooh, that smells good. That's nice. Now the inside ones are fine. Okay, I think I've got it about as full as it is going to get. Let's take a close look. What do you think? I think it'll be all right. Oh, let's get some water. Can't pour it out too fast, it's too full. It's getting close. Okay. I'll add some more to that in a minute. In case you didn't notice, there's a bunch of banana peppers and some little sweet picnic peppers. I happened to find those in the freezer, so I went ahead and threw them in too. I'm going to grab the lid. Yeah, you want it full. And I'm going to put it on about, might help if I plug it in so I can see it. I'm going to put it on 350 for the first couple hours, and then I'm going to turn it way down. And that's just basically because everything's super frozen. So I'm going to put it there. Yeah, I have no knob. One of my kids, actually it needs cleaned off really good, but one of my kids disposed of the knob for me. Alrighty, I'm gonna add some more water to this chicken and I'll be back. Okay, everyone. So day 1 is complete. There's nothing else that I can do with this. I do have this one on about 350. The small batch of chicken broth I do have on high. I'm only going to do that for like an hour. And then I'm going to put this on low, and I'm going to put this on about probably 200. I got to watch this cooker. It cooks a little hot, so we'll see how it does. But they are both full, as you can see. Yay. I'm going to render bacon fat. One of the very first videos that we ever did, we did do on that, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do a better updated one or just let you check that one out. And this is fun. I found a big old pork roast, right? Guess what year this is, or guess what this is from? October 12th, 2020. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slow cook this. I'm going to let it thaw really well first because all my cookers are used up. But I think I'm going to cook this very low and slow and see how it looks. It doesn't look freezer burnt. Maybe just a little bit on the bottom, but not real bad. You want to talk about a pantry challenge? I didn't even know this was in there. This was way at the bottom too. So, and we have fresh pork now. I need to use that up. Anyhow, I'm going to let you go for now. We're going to come back throughout the process. I'll grab the phone real quick and I'll zoom in and I'll let you see how it's cooking down, and I'll let you see the beautiful color of the broth. Oh, it's so dark, it's so good. And if you've ever priced, I usually say this, if you have ever price checked broth or anything else that we make around here at the grocery store, you know the prices. It's very expensive, especially the good stuff, the good, you know, collagen filled, nutrition filled, not overly processed, no additives type stuff. A lot of money. So we're going to have several quarts of it right here to drink and to can for soups or just to have. And I don't know if you could see down there in the corner, but Miss Ruthie Boothy, what are you doing? I hear quacking.
You're free. Come on out.
Hi, girls. You may or may not want to come out. Yeah, they're thinking, no, there's white stuff outside.
Oh no.
Come on out, girls, if you want.
It's like they're like muddy flower.
Hello, hello. I don't know if that's mud. Oh my goodness, come on. Hello, that's Loki because of his fancy colors. I don't blame you. Come on. Nothing. Nope.
He doesn't like it. He just flew out the chicken.
Is he coming? There he is. Heck with this, man. Huh. Hopefully we can get the feed can open. Miss Hershey, you change your mind? Hmm? Come on, Fauna. Come on. They say no, they're not going for it. That's hilarious, whatever's on her nose.
The snow is hard. Even the water we gave them is frozen.
Well, it's going to be a super cold day.
So which one first?
Each one gets a piece of apple.
And carrot.
And then there's chopped up carrots, so you just give them whatever. Is he in his bed at least?
I think so.
Good, because
I don't see him.
okay, give him his apple.
Apple and a carrot?
Yeah. There's 4 apples, enough for each of them, and then there's just give them a couple carrots or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be even.
Carrot.
Carrot.
I like feeding my rabbits.
Oh, dude, Mare. There's the big hairy boss. Hey, Mare, what's up?
He's
What's
like,
up, big hairy
"Look at
boss?
this
What you
snow
doing?"
stop."
I know. You love the snow. Yes, you do. Go get some more.
Finish.
Whoop, Mare.
Next. I think he's in her bed.
Yeah, most of them's in their bed. Pepper's waiting on her water. Oh, the chickens are leaving the house. We just had to move. Loki's getting food that's been dropped, I guess. Mare says, what you got, kid?
I'm feeding the rabbits.
I don't think you'll eat the apples, buddy.
Or the carrots.
Or the carrots.
Oh,
Maybe
there
if they's
you
cooked.
are.
You can have my leftover beef bones, okay? Oh yeah, they love apples. You just gotta hurry up and eat it before it freezes. Yeah. Gotta get some new hutches. Oh. Yeah.
But she's trying to eat the apples out of the bag.
They love apples.
Like through the bag.
Yeah.
Here's an apple for
Where you
It's
going?
the biggest
She
one.
leaving.
It's the biggest one, okay?
Oh, Pepper is the biggest girl. She needs it the most. So quiet.
I know that's what
Did you give some to Miss Tilly, the flopsy-eared bunny?
She only got one.
We'll give her some more. Look, her apples already went down. My goodness. She was enjoying that. It'll be nice to have them in some fancier... I'd like to have them where they can get on the grass this spring.
She's probably thinking her carrot multiplied.
That's all right.
She'll probably think. I stole it.
He's so handsome. Take that bag back in. Don't leave it outside. There's a guinea on the grapevine. What are you doing, Havoc? Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I just wanted to give you a little update. This is at night. It is bubbling a bit more than I would like, so I did turn it down. Everything is really cooked down quite a bit. Definitely up too high. You can see some fats that will get strained off. Some color. Anyway, this is what we're up to for now. The pot is still very full. It smells wonderful in here. Here's the chicken broth. It's doing the same thing. I had it turned up too high. But it's down now. I got busy and forgot to turn it down. Mistake, but it'll be alright. Good morning. It's been about, 10 hours or overnight. And this is how it's looking so far. Here's one of the beef bones. I kind of stirred it up a little bit and check things out. I don't know if I get it out there. There you go. I'll give you an idea how it looks. I'm going to come down here past the fat. Things have started sinking. There's your color. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this cook through today. Because even though like the carrots are soft, the peppers are just, they're really done. But, you know, my carrots are like eating stage right now. They're not even, they're still pretty firm. The bones still have plenty left in them. So I am going to leave this throughout the day today. But it's looking good. And then here is the chicken. This is a smoked chicken, so it's not going to be a light broth. No veggies or anything in it, just chicken. Alrighty, here's the finished result. Got company in the background, so there's our finished result. Looks kind of dark because of the lighting, but it is really, really dark. We're going to strain this up, and I'll show you what it looks like after I get it strained. Okay, I've got my big stock pot. I've got my strainer that I just dropped off down in there. Anytime you rush. Anyway, here's my strainer. And then I use flour sack towels. The older the better. You can always bleach them afterwards. But as you can see, this one isn't as bad. Actually, I got worse ones. But this one has been used a lot. And we're going to strain it into this big stock pot. Alright, let's see what we're looking at here first. Here's one of the big old beef bones. I'm just going to show it. Some of the oil. We will drain some of this fat off. We're not going to keep the oil or the fat on the top. This is the first straining. So just to get the big stuff out, and then we'll do a second strain to get the finer stuff out, to get that pretty color that you usually see whenever you make broth or have broth in your home. You can hear it hitting the pot. There it goes through. Can you see it? There it is. So I'm going to get the rest of this strained out and then I'll show you what's next. Okay. I strained most of the fat off the top. As you can see, there's still a little bit, but that's going to come out through here. See how it's in the top of this paper towel? This is just a standard paper towel. I doubled it. I threw it over this. If you have cheesecloth, flour sack towels, anything that you want to use, this is fine, but this is what I'm using today because of the fat and the yuckiness. It's just easier for me to pitch it and be done with it. I already have 1 quart, and this one is ready to add to it. So here we go. This is fun. There it is, straining out. It's a little bit messy, but not too bad. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to get all of these quarts full, and then we'll talk about getting it canned up. Okay, we've got her jarred up. I ended up with 6 jars, quart size, of the beef broth. And since I had room for 1 more, and I am working on that smoked chicken stock or broth that you saw me start at the same time, I went ahead and did 1 jar of that just to throw in with the others, and then I'm going to finish later. Here's the difference in color between the 2 of them. See? Don't they look lovely? So whenever you get done, good clean rag, wipe your edges. Make sure you always check for any nicks or chips. These are clean. Jars are always made good and clean before you even fill them. These are new lids. Doesn't mean I'm not saving my old ones though. Finger tight. Okay, there. This is my All-American 921. It holds 8 quarts. We're going to get this started. We're going to load it up. We're going to clamp down the lid, get it started, and once it starts shooting steam out of, turn it so you can see it, there it is. This little nozzle or spout or whatever you want to call it right here, I'm going to let it steam for 10 minutes, and I'm going to let it process once it gets up to 10 pounds of pressure for 40 minutes. I'm going by memory, so I'm going to double check that, and if it's different than 40 minutes, I'll put it on the bottom of the thing, but it should be 40 minutes. But you always got to check. Don't always go from memory. Alright. She is steaming. I'm going to let this steam for 10 minutes before I put my weight on. See, you can see it clearly. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is up. On the gauge, I have a 15, a 5, and a 10. Here we do 10 pounds of pressure. So we're going to try to do this without... There it is. On the 10. Once this pressure here builds up, I usually actually let mine go to an 11 just to be extra cautious. So it does jiggle a little bit more because I have it at 11. But once it hits 10 pounds of pressure, this weight's going to kind of start moving around and jiggling. And then, here we go. We're ready to set our time. Okay, just a hair above 10, which is usually where I keep it. Starting to get a little fit coming out of the weight. I don't know if it'll jiggle pretty quick or not. It might not, but it's definitely built up. So, well, almost there just then. So once I get to this point, I'm where I need to be. I don't need to have my stove quite so hot. See, right now I have it on an 8. So I'm going to gradually, oh, there she goes. Plus every time I move, this is an old house, so if you move the closures, we're going to turn it down gradually. I went from an 8 to a 6. Once I watch this to see, make sure it's not going down too far, I'll go from a 6 to a 4. And for my stove, it's jiggling a little too much, but it will calm down because I just turned it down. It'll calm down, see. And then I'm eventually going to move it down to a 4. And that is usually my honey spot for this particular stove and this particular front burner. Once I have it at about a 4, it stays right on pressure and it doesn't jiggle too crazy. And then that's where it will stay. But we're going to start our time right now. Okay, y'all, time's up. You might hear Tangy from Freedom Homestead in the background. I'm watching her while I do this. Anyway, time's up. It held pressure. Everything did great. So this is what we're going to do. You see this? Shut it off. I moved and made it jiggle. Okay, calm down. Do not touch it. We're going to let this temperature, listen at me. We're going to let this pressure drop on its own. It's going to take a while. Don't rush it. Don't move it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. The stove is off. And we are going to leave it alone until this comes all the way down to 0. And then after it comes all the way down to 0, we're still going to leave it alone for another 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to leave her be. Okay, we're finished. After it all came down from pressure, after we let it rest, I actually ended up letting it rest for about an hour because I had to go pick up my son. I took the lid off, and instead of taking it all the way off, I angled it like this and just left an opening. And this helps to keep from any siphoning or any extremities because it has to get used to the difference in pressure and temperature. And then after, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, they were removed and left to cool here on this towel overnight. So here is your finished product. Looks great. Sealed wonderfully. Once it's cooled off, once it has sat for 12 to 24 hours, most people do it for an entire day. With my lack of space, I usually move it in the 12 hours and gently set it elsewhere, and it's fine. Make sure your jars are good and clean. Wipe them down. If you have to use vinegar to get off any hard water deposits, whatever it takes, take those rings off. Do not leave those rings on here for long-term storage. You could have a false seal, and you don't want that. So take them off and get your Sharpie. Label what it is. Label the date that you make it so that your older stuff's always used first. And that's all there is to it. I hope you had a good time with me. I sure appreciate you all watching. Jesse Boy's coming to send us off. Thanks for joining me. Do what you can right where you are.
Psalms 34 verse 8, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him.